Alright guys, what's going on? It's Verbal, the guy that talks too much, and I have got an epic update for you guys. So, I have started my own podcast. A couple of weeks ago, a good buddy of mine in the YouTube world, Mr. I Try Hard, came to me and basically said, would I like to do a podcast? And dude, I've been like, that would be amazing. I remember like a couple of months ago, I was posting, I think it was either Huppet forums or something like that, and I was just giving feedback to Wins and the guys. Not that I ever expect them to pay attention to that type of stuff, but I remember saying it and thinking to myself, I would love it if PKA could come out on every, once or maybe twice a week. Like, I would love to see it twice a week because it's so good. It's so informational. They're so much fun. They have such a good time doing it, and they're great personalities. So I mentioned it to the guys, when Tryhard came to me and he was like, "Hey, what do you think?" I was like, "Oh, dude, this would be amazing." So we took our time and we did a lot of homework, and we picked a pretty darn good, amazing personality, I think at least, to be the third host. And it's Larry Legend, who he's pretty small in the YouTube world at the moment. I think he's only got like 100 subs. So I mean, I consider myself tiny, and he's got a tenth the subs that I do. And I think the important thing that I take away from it is that it's not about the size of subs. I think Jay Easy put it really well one time where he said, if you measure your success in YouTube by the number of subscribers you've got, it's the same as a man measuring his success in life as to how many women he slept with. Like, that's complete bullshit. So yeah, pardon the quick couple of deaths there, but the basic point is our podcast is going to have some great personalities, and I think it's going to rock. And basically, one of the things that we're doing, and we're going to call it FNGs, the FNG, the fucking new guys. So, obviously that ties in with the emblem that you get in Modern Warfare 2. It also ties in because, well, we're new, and I think that's a really cool perspective because everyone else out there doing a podcast is, you ain't Grizz Baby or Painkiller already, and these guys have got, tens, if not hundreds of thousands of subscribers already. So they're obviously going to be a success to begin with, and we're the first guys trying it from the very beginning and trying to get our names out there. So we're the FNGs, the FNG title, and then here's kind of an epic and pretty cool part of this. We are going to have some guests come on board. Now, we did the first episode already just as a trial. I think we needed a couple of audio tweaks, but we'll be pretty good for Sunday. This coming Sunday, the 14th, will be our first sort of publicly available, have a look and check it out podcast, and I think that's going to be really, really good. It's the first time for us all to get together, and you're going to get to know the three of us pretty well. That will be the last time there'll be no guests on it. From then on, we are going to have an FNG every week. There will be a fucking new guy every week onto our podcast. Now, for the first 2 weeks, we've secured talent. We've secured some major talent. I'm just going to tease you guys. I'm not going to let you know who it is just yet, but I guarantee you have heard of the first two guests that will be on our channel, on our podcast, and you're going to love it. These guys are really cool, fun guys, and they're huge in the community, and I think you're going to have a great time. So that's my pitch on our podcast. The link's below, fng.podbean.com. Larry's link to his channel, so you can check him out, is in the description. And Mr. I Try Hard, so you get an idea of the two personalities that we're bringing to the table too. Also, I just want to pause still, look at this bit. Just a little slowdown of me getting a little, I think it was a 3 or 4 man spray. Anyway, it was a heck of a lot of fun. Yeah, I think it was a 3 man spray because I get all the way up to my counter UAV there. And then in a second, I'm going to, wing around, and this guy's just completely oblivious, and there's my Predator. That was fun. So my second update is about my screen settings and my render settings. So I've linked another link. Sorry, a lot of links, I know. But there's one last link, and it's a video on YouTube talking about the difference between widescreen and full screen, and how when you shoot video, it's on a specific size, which is 16 by 9, and that means one big oblong triangle. And then when you actually, when editors edit it down, it can be edited down for full screen, which is just a normal screen size, which ends up being 4 by 3, I think, and it's not quite the same size, which means you kind of lose a little bit on the left and the right. And watch the video and understand of it. Well, when I edit in Final Cut Express, that's the problem I have, is that I'm editing trying to get it to format down to your guys' size, and then I lose a lot of quality in it. Or I can do it by widescreen, and then I'm not able to get it to look right because I put the letterbox on there, and then YouTube says, oh, this is widescreen, we're going to put a letterbox on there, and then it ends up with those massive, huge blank boxes around the top. So that's not too cool. So I found a way to get it right where you're still going to see a little bit of the black boxes on top of it, but they're there on purpose. Like the whole point is that there's little black boxes on there, and it's going to look freaking amazing. You know, it's widescreen, it's full high definition. You're missing nothing of the screen size, and it's all going to look pretty damn good. So. That's my update. That's my podcast and a little bit better render settings coming for you guys, which you probably don't care too much about, but it is nice to know that, you know, there's not going to be that huge Commander around the corner. Love that guy. There's not going to be that huge problem with my videos anymore, which is nice. So, you know, being verbal, and I've still got about 5 minutes here, I am going to, maybe 3 minutes here. I'm going to tell you a quick 2 stories about Hawaii and my parents scuba diving and having a bit of fun in Hawaii. So I know you guys love verbal story time, and basically what happened is they got into scuba diving, as you guys know, and you kind of get bored with scuba diving. Not bored, but it's kind of like, oh, I wonder what else we could do. And they got into hunting, so they got into, you know, carrying a knife with them, spear guns, all sorts of stuff, like a bag to carry fish in, fish traps, all sorts of stuff. Now, the 2 stories I tell, one of them happened with my dad and his best friend. They were out lobster hunting one night, and I don't know if you guys know this, but lobsters migrate. So when it's mating season or something, or for whatever reason they migrate for, they leave as a whole colony. Like a few thousand lobsters will leave together in one long line, going 2 by 2, as if there's couples of lobsters leaving in one big long line, 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. For as far as the eye can see, and they just follow each other like that. It's one big long like line to get into a Disney ride or something. It's crazy. So my dad actually was lucky enough to walk into exactly that happening in real life, and he saw this. Him and his buddy saw this, and they just started picking up the lobsters. They started picking up the lobsters and putting them in their pack. And these poor, you know, little flight attendants living in Hawaii, which, I mean, yes, they were living in you know, best place on the planet, but they weren't making a lot of money. They were able to afford to eat lobster every day, all day, for as long as they could. They even had to borrow a friend's refrigerator or freezer or whatever to keep these lobsters well, because they got so many of them, which was amazing, obviously. And then the second story I want to tell you guys is about a fish trap they used. So basically, it's like a big trap that they would leave down, you know, underwater for like 24 hours. And what they would do is they'd come back the next day. They'd put a little bit of bait in the trap, and then they'd come back the next day just to see what they'd caught. So if you guys don't know what a moray eel is, M-O-R-A-Y, I think, moray eel, pause still this video, go Google search that shit, and find out. This is one dangerous ass animal. This is an animal that is huge. Like the jaws on this sucker will wrap around your arm and they won't goddamn let go. It's crazy. They've got some weird locking mechanism in their jaw, and I'm sure Google can tell you exactly what it is. But basically they came down to this trap, and it was my mom, my dad, my dad's best friend, and the best friend's girlfriend at the point in time. She was, how do I put this politely, a little clueless. Just a little clueless. And she wasn't really paying attention. Now, luckily, nothing happened to her. It's all good. But my dad and my mom and the best friend were kind of looking at each other going, you know, pay attention, look around, you know, this is not a good situation to be in, because they couldn't risk moving the trap and having the moray. And obviously the moray was going to be pissed. I mean, pissed as shit. You don't know how long that thing's been in there. So you have to kill the sucker. You can't move it without killing it. But blood in water in Hawaii attracts sharks. Not a good call. So they were kind of trapped as to what they did, and they figured the best thing to do was just kill it, get it out of the water as quickly as possible, and, you know, get themselves out of the water, because you do not want to be lying around with blood in the water. So Dad hits it with a spear, traps it up against one side of the cage, and his buddy starts hacking away at the thing's head to cut off the head. And if you know anything about temperature and pressure on color, blood ends up looking green at that depth. I think they were like 50 feet down. So the blood's plewing out, like flume, you know, tons and tons of blood just pouring out everywhere. The girl's sitting in the corner kind of thinking, well, that's funny, I wonder where all this color's coming from. My mom and dad are looking around constantly, looking to see if there's, you know, a shark anywhere. So they grab the crate thing, or the trap, hightail it up to their boat, get on the boat, and are all kind of freaking out, like, get up, go, let's go. Like this is not a time to be dawdling around. And the girl's like chatting away and talking as she's sitting in the water. And my mom and dad are like, do you not get this? Like, that was blood. And she's like, that was blood? Holy shit. She jumps out of the boat straight away. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you on the podcast soon, I hope. Later, guys.